I didn't see Cesaro and Tyson Kidd's match with New Day because I didn't care about New Day. But I did see on WWE.com that Tyson Kidd and Cesaro won. Yay! No New Day. Moving on. As you can hear, my voice is pretty much halfway gone. And also, I can talk about the outcome of the Rumble match all night if I wanted to and just make a big giant rant. But I'm honestly going to make a separate video about that. So I'm just going to talk about this pay-per-view itself and just go on from there. Now, I didn't really care much for the kickoff because, of course, I don't like the New Day. But after seeing that, seeing on the website that Tyson Kidd and Cesaro won, great. Moving on from there. Now, I'm going to talk about the tag team match. We got the Usos versus Mizdow and The Miz. That's the only match that I really didn't agree with besides the Rumble match. But like I said, I'm not getting into that. But the fact is that Mizdow was hot. He's hot. He's hotter than The Miz. Everybody really wanted to see Mizdow perform. Everybody wanted to see Mizdow be on top. And when he was actually performing, the dude was on fire. Like he really, really was. And everybody really wants this guy to just to be in the ring and perform. Is it given that they're going to split up? When? I don't know. But people really... Mizdow is way more over than Mizdow. Miz is... The Miz... You know what I mean. The mime guy. He's way over than The Miz. People want to see him perform. And we didn't really get that much of him. But the one thing that makes me sad the most is the fact that Usos won. Because let's be real, they're the most boring champions ever. There's nothing really interesting about them. And the only thing that was interesting was the feud they had with Naomi. But that squash, so whatever. They're still boring. But hopefully they might pick things up and it might get interesting down the line. But right now it's just flat out boring. But they end up losing. Whatever. That happens. Then we ended up getting the match with the Divas. A match that I was really, really impressed with. A match that I really did not expect was going to be a good match, but it really was. Having two technical experts as well as, a veteran, having Natalya and Paige being, teaming up, even though I don't like Paige's character being a face, but besides all that, the fact they were teamed up together really was a great blend. Then you ended up having the Bella Twins pretty much going against them, and I was really, really impressed with Nikki. I'm always impressed with Nikki. She's getting better by the day. You got Brie that represents stealth and swiftness. Then you got Nikki that represents strength and power. And you can kind of tell that she is getting stronger by the day. Seeing that elbow to the face of Natalya really kind of was satisfying, because I really want to see Natalya rage. Just once. I just want to see her rage out. But I'm not going to get that. But either or, it's great to see Nikki win. I wanted to see her win. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if people really didn't pay attention to the match, but pay attention to Nikki's butt, since the camera was flat on it. But besides all that, let's move on to another match. The other match I was really impressed with, the decision that was made, was the Ascension versus the New Age Outlaws. I guess it's kind of sprung about after watching Raw, the old school version of Raw, and I guess they kind of called them out, whatever. But honestly, it was a great match, and it was a great way to put the Ascension over, because they really do need the win. It's their first time being on the card, so they really do need the first time being on mainstream Raw. Pretty much their first time being on mainstream Raw, so they really do need the win. Especially with their match being on the card, it'd be a great win against the veterans. But honestly, I can go into the Rumble match and talk about how bad it is, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. I'm going to talk about my personal main event of the night, the triple threat match with Seth Rollins, John Cena, and Brock Lesnar. Oh my gosh. Can we say beast? That's all I have to say. It made me so happy to see Brock Lesnar booked as a beast, because that's how he needs to be. Does anybody believe, really? Does anyone believe that John Cena can beat Brock Lesnar? No. No freaking way. Not after what we saw at SummerSlam. That's still embedded in our minds, how much he practically owned him. And there's no way. He had no defense at all. Sure, he had maybe a few attitude adjustments, or FUs, or whatever you call them now. But yeah, sure. He had put maybe 3 in, but that pales in comparison to the 16 German suplexes he had on his back that day at SummerSlam. I'm sorry, you can talk about, oh, he had 3 and 1 curb stop. I don't know how he can get up, because a freaking beast. And it's like a love tap compared to him. Seriously. Pretty much The FU or whatever, the FU and the curb stop was practically like an inconvenience for Brock Lesnar. And it showed. And really, it made me so happy to see Brock Lesnar win. I know it sounds one-sided because it sounds like I'm marking out for Brock, but I'm not. I just like strong characters, and I like the way they're booking Brock as a beast. I really, really am. It really made me happy to see him win. And it was a great match overall. It was the main event of the night, and it should have been the main event, in my opinion, compared to the Rumble. Now, I have my overall thoughts about what people said on Twitter, but I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to get into the match itself. The match itself started off to be fun. It started off to be very interesting with The Miz versus R-Truth. And it was even better when I saw Bubba Ray for the first time in many, many years. And I didn't want to say bully because I'm so used to him being bully on TNA. And he ended up being in the Rumble as Bubba Ray. That was a great moment for me. Highlights, huge highlights, nostalgia. I really wish Devon was there, but he just wasn't, and that just happens. Then we ended up seeing DDP, which was great. And then going on down there ended up being, a pretty great match. And then you got to number 10. Now, the whole time you got Bray Wyatt being in the ring by himself was a little off. I'm so used to having at least 3 people in the ring kind of battling it out and being eliminated maybe at number 15. And then that's when you start seeing eliminations. And then you got the main guy that keeps tossing people out. But, I guess maybe they want to change things up, but it just felt off to me. But either or, they kind of teased that Bray was going to win, but we kind of know that Bray may be facing Taker. So regardless, I knew he wasn't going to win. But it was nice to see Daniel Bryan being in the match. It was nice to see him perform again, even though he got eliminated. It sucks. It really does suck. I really wasn't happy to see him eliminated, but it happens. That's just how it is. Then you end up getting Dean Ambrose, and you end up getting some of my favorites, and all my favorites got eliminated. But then you end up getting... well, except for one, Dean Ambrose. He was practically one of the final 4. But the one thing that kind of surprised me was you actually did see Kane to literally outlast the others. I actually thought that Kane was going to be eliminated as quick as he could because I knew he wasn't going to win. I didn't even know why he was in it in the first place. But regardless of that, you end up having your final 4. And of course, you end up having the main guy that we kind of expected that will win since WWE is practically forcing him down our throats. Roman Reigns. He ended up winning, and we ended up seeing The Rock come out, and actually, I guess he interfered. The one thing about the end of the match, it was extremely confusing. You really didn't have any idea what was going on, whether or not The Rock was actually helping him out, or it just was just there. I mean, I really was kind of confused towards the end. But then I kind of remembered that, yeah, Rusev never got eliminated, but then when he finally did, yeah, Roman Reigns actually won. Because I was like, okay, they rang the bell, but I think they probably didn't know that that there was one guy left. I guess that's what confused me. If the bell didn't ring, I wouldn't have been confused. But the bell rang before they finally announced that Roman Reigns was the winner because Rusev never got eliminated. So yeah, it was a very confusing ending. A very iffy ending for a lot of people on Twitter as well as Facebook. There wasn't a lot of happy people. But I'm not getting into that. It's going to be another video in itself. My overall review for Royal Rumble is this. It started off with a bang. I'm not going to lie. The actual match on the card was really great. The way they ended it off and actually allowed the new people to get over was great. The Divas match was very impressive. Something I really never expected, but the Divas have to pick it up a notch because now a lot of people are taking them seriously. A lot of people are getting bored. But of course, it was all about Nikki's butt. But move on from there. The best match of the night, of course, definitely was what I consider to be the main event, the triple threat match, which really did outshine all the others. It even outshined the Royal Rumble match itself. It really did. The Royal Rumble match really wasn't that bad. It was just bad booking. That's pretty much what it was. It was just bad booking, a bad decision on their part, and that's how it is. But my overall opinion and my thoughts and this whole discussion about the outcome of how people felt as well as the fans is going to be on a discussion video, so I'm going to make that separate. But guys, I still want to hear your personal thoughts about Royal Rumble and what do you think and who was your person that you actually picked to win. I want to know everybody's picks. I'm curious about everybody's picks. Who you picked to win, your top 5. Who were your top 5 wrestlers to win the Royal Rumble, and what were your thoughts about the triple threat match? Leave a comment in the comment section below and send me a video response on how you feel about what's, about the Royal Rumble match, as well as your top 5. I'm curious and I want to know. It's Nature Girl 30 signing off. Peace out. Later.